Hello, welcome back to Lessons Learned. I'm Sherry, and this is Monday Quilt Chat. So grab your coffee, your hot chocolate, your tea, your Coke, whatever it is you like to drink, and sit right down and let's just have a chat about all the quilty things that we're into. That's what we love, isn't it? Well, the weekend. Yes, I sewed on the weekend. I hope you got to sew as well. It was a kind of a pretty weekend here. Kind of warmish, like low 60s and sunny, and still feels kind of wintry though. I mean, it is February, albeit the end of February, but things are shaping up for spring is what I'm getting at. So this weekend, I put a quilt on the long arm. And if you're on the Facebook group, you've already seen this. I just pulled this off. This is Sunday for me. It's Monday for you. But I remember this quilt. This was called Center Point. And it was a free pattern from Robert Kaufman. And I don't remember the name of the jelly rolls that I used for this. But I did this back on the National Jelly Roll Day in 2023. So I put this on the long arm to see how it would do and how I would do with all this stripediness with a quilt pattern. And I think it turned out pretty good. I think it did. Let me see if I can show you a close-up of some of the quilting. Now this is the first time I did a design where it went back over and over itself, like these petals. There's like 2 passes on some of those. And I used kind of a goldish thread that matched these kind of colors in it. And I think that turned out pretty good. I had this backing. This was a 5-yard cut or an end of bolt or something that I got from Sew Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was like a whole bolt or something because I got a bunch of yardage of this. But it matches perfect. It's not the same line, but it goes really well with it. So you can't see the quilting very well on it because it's so busy, but I will bind this, trim it, bind it, and show it to you on Friday with some better pictures. But that kind of gives you a little sneak peek of my long arm project for this past weekend. And I'm throwing things on the floor. And the other thing that I did is I finished my quilt as you go. And I do think this will be my final comments on this project. I don't think I will be making another video about borders and such. I lost a little steam on this, and I just got to where I wanted to get it done. So I did the 16 blocks, and I will show this to you on Friday as well in a better way. But I did get all of my sashing, all my rows together. It's done. I got it bound and everything. And I had just a barely little bit of my aqua left. Like a 1-inch strip with the fabric, if that, left of this fabric. I may have a few little scraps of it somewhere, but there was no way I was going to be able to add more blocks and sashing for this. So 16 was all I could do. But final thoughts on this. I think adding borders to it is a whole nother video. It's not hard. I did research it. The sashing method we use, I'm satisfied with it. And I want to tell you, those long sashes where you put your rows together, I didn't do the greatest job on the first one. It got a little better with the second one, and by the time I got to my third and last one, I was getting good at it. So I think that's a skill you can perfect. I'm okay with the way this turned out. It's a cute little quilt. I would gift it to someone, or it would make a good donation quilt, or something for my own use. I would never try to sell it because of some of that crinklediness that I got with my sashing. The vertical sashing I had no problem with, but the long ones, I mean, I'll show you. There's quite a bit of unevenness in my stitching. Not that I didn't stitch straight. Well, there probably is some that aren't super straight. I got pretty straight. But it gets a little crinkly with that length. And what you have to do, what I finally learned that you had to do, or at least this is what helped me, is I used these forked pans. These are, I don't know if you can see that, but there's two on there. See that? There's two pins in one. These are magic pins, and they're called, I think they're just called double pins, I think, or twin pins. I don't know. Anyway, I would take one of these and feed through the sashing as I was sewing, and that was perfect. And I really got good at that at the last one. I had the pins in it, you know, every so often I had pins in it to pin it down, and then I also used a pin to do my easing, and that worked really good. And it almost made me think, you know what, I need to invent something that has about four, like a, you know, like if you had this double, some sort of little tool like this that you could use to feed it through with. Now, stiletto, in theory, that's what a stiletto is for, right? But this worked really good because it's flexible and flat and really thin. And stilettos are got a little thickness to them. I need to invent something. Anyway, that's what I have to say about that. There's some other methods out there that you might want to try, and maybe I will do another quilt as you go sew along as well with one of those other methods. Maybe something a little bit easier. I felt like the blocks, super simple. The vertical sashing, simple. The horizontal sashing, intermediate to advanced. And then, of course, you bind it. That's pretty simple. Yeah, I might do another quilt along again with Quilt As You Go. I loved making the blocks, but isn't that the way of a lot of us? We love to make the blocks on any project, but the other pieces of the project, we kind of have our favorites. We have our likes and our dislikes. Like some people hate binding. I love to do binding. Now that I do it on the machine, solely on the machine, I love to do binding. It's quick, it's fun, it feels good when you get it done, because that means that's the end of your project as well. But some of that, you know, putting your rows together and, you know, the basting and the quilting, if you have to quilt on your domestic machine or whatever, not usually everybody's favorite, but those are the two things that I worked on this past weekend. I did not work on anything else. I did not work on my State Star, my paper piece State Star. Did not work on that last week. I still have the same amount done. Of course, you saw that I worked a ton on Anne of Green Gables. And I'm going to continue with that because I'm, you know, on the home stretch getting ready to put borders on. And then news on Happy Days. Happy Days, nothing happened with Happy Days last week, unfortunately. And the reason why I let myself stall on that was because I called them to see what's left of this project. I just wanted to make sure that was it. And the reason why is I got an email saying that a thing was coming. And I was like, wow, why is the thing coming? Have they started me on another block of the month just automatically and I don't know about it or what? So I called and they said, no, you've got 2 more mailings to go. And I'm thinking, what could it be? I have everything for the borders. I have worked on the borders, by the way, not this past week, but the one before. I don't know. She said, well, one of them's definitely the backing, but you have 2 more mailings coming. The last one will be the backing. So I'm not sure because I feel like I have all my packets of fabric from the last mailing that will get the thing done. But I don't know. I'm just going to have to let them send them to me and see. So I have more work on that than I can get done in this month. So I will not make that challenge this month to get Happy Days done. So I've got a couple more months, I guess, to go on it. At least one more month for the piecing of the front. So I'll give myself to the end of March, I guess, to get the front done. We'll see. And then what else do I have over there? Okay, we're getting ready to go into March. What's tomorrow? 26th? Yeah. So here in just a very few days, I need to get back to working on Happy Days, Barnstar Sampler, and the pressed flowers from the So Sampler box, and Harriet's Journey. We're not going to talk about that today. We're not going to talk about that. Okay, so that's what we did this weekend, those 2 quilts. And then I told you what I needed to tell you on the Quilt As You Go. The So Sampler box we got in. I got a So Sampler box. Well, that has our pressed flowers. So that's one thing that I'll have to do this one here early in March, if not before. I love doing these, though. I'll probably do it this week. But I don't usually do box reviews because they don't pay me. They don't send me a free one or anything. So why should I be doing a box review? But I just thought this one was a little bit outstanding, and I just wanted to spread the word about it. So if you don't subscribe to a So Sampler box from Fat Quarter Shop, this might push you over the edge with it. The theme of this month's is Trending Tradition, and this is down in the box. And then the deal that you get as a subscriber to the box is 25% off Butter Churn Basics. So there's a QR code that you can scan to get that deal. Kim Deal, she does kind of like, what is it called? Kind of like Kansas Troubles stuff. And they gave jelly roll. It's not a full jelly roll. I don't even know what they call this. It's called a design roll. It has, there's 26 pieces. That's not a full jelly roll, is it? No. So you have that, and then with it, there is a pattern, which that's pretty cool. I could totally see myself making that with this. This is the fabric. And it just has 3 different pieces with it, and then your binding. So you do have to buy, let's see. Yeah, I don't think you had to buy any extra fabric. It's small. It's 39 by 42.5. So I think this will do it. This will do it. But it does call for 5 strips for the binding. Well, that comes out of here too. So you can make a whole little quilt with this one. So there's that. And then also on this insert thing, there's a QR code for an extra pattern. And I wanted to test something out. I did the QR code and looked at the pattern, and it looked like it went right into the Fat Quarter Shop. So I was like, so this isn't a free pattern exclusive to the So Sampler subscribers. So I backed all the way out of that and then went into my browser and looked up Fat Quarter Shop and searched on Confetti Stars Table Runner, because that's what it's called. And any of you can get this one for free. So there's that. I'm not going to show my QR code, but you can just go into Fat Quarter Shop and get this pattern. It's free. It's a free pattern. So if you want to do a table runner like that, and in this fabric or any other fabric that you have that you want to use, that's what they offer you. Now, the other items that were in there, usually you get a lot of little doodaddy type things that aren't really useful, or maybe it's stuff you already have because you're kind of more advanced and you're done with the basic tools that you need. You have them, and you have had them for a long time. But this time they gave us a light, a Vivolux light. Now this Vivolux brand is, you know, it's the real deal. So this is a $30 light, and it will stick onto your sewing machine, and it has 2 settings on it. And I guess I could get it out and show you. Has a little battery thing on it, but then there's like these Velcro things sticky in the box, and you can actually put that onto your sewing machine. And there's 2 settings to it. There's one setting. I don't know if you're seeing that. And then there's another one, brighter one. And then you turn it off. But it just goes into a USB. So, pretty cool. I thought that was pretty impressive, actually. And then they also gave us some hand quilting needles, which I don't think I have any hand quilting needles right now. I might have in there. I don't do much hand quilting, but... And then kind of a sample spool of Gutermann thread. And this is in the color... Does the color come on these? Color 1800. I don't know if it tells in here. This is an... let's see. Hold on. Hold the phone. It's $1.98 for this little spool. Solid copper is what it's called. And it's 100 and something. 110 yards. I don't know. You might be able to like stitch in the ditch with it, or do all your piecing with it or something for that pattern they sent. So that's what we got in there. I don't think there was anything else in that. I'm looking around, because you know how I am. That was pretty good. I thought that was pretty good. I thought it was worth a mention this time. I also got in what I've purchased. I was going to share what I've purchased, and that is I did get 2 1-yard cuts of some landscape fabric, because landscape fabric, you know, just the right thing is kind of hard to find. You kind of grab a little piece when you can. Wouldn't this be perfect for a night sky? This is Northcott Frond Design Wild Night. Windy Wild Night by Stephanie Brandenburg. Frond Design Studios, exclusively for Northcott. So this was another part of the line, and I thought this would be cool landscape fabric too. So I grabbed, out of the whole line, I just grabbed these 2 from the sale. And that's all I wanted of the line. There were many, many more on here, but no more will I buy fat quarters and bundles of, you know, like the full line, you know, unless it's something I really, really, really love. This is very specific, so I got these. And then everything else I got as far as fabric was just stuff I needed for Anne of Green Gables. But I did also order some new lighting for my videos. I need some new lighting. You ever notice how on Friday I have this weird shadow behind me? I hate that. I never can get the lighting right in here to make it to where I don't have a shadow. So I did some research, and I bought a couple of things that hopefully will get rid of that and make it to where you can see things better that I'm trying to show you. Another thing. Remember here a few weeks back, I did a video on a heat press, and it was just a really short video, and the people sent me the heat press. It was like a, I don't know, $200 to $300 heat press. They gave it to me to do the video. So I did the video, and I decided to get in touch with them and say, hey, I noticed you have a cutter out there. Would you mind sending me a cutter, and I'll make your video out of it? Well, their cutters aren't hugely expensive. I think it was like $150. I want to say $155 or $175 on Amazon. They sent me a cutter, so I need to review that cutter. And I ordered a table for it, for the heat press and the table, and the cutter, to sit on this sturdy table, because that heat press is so heavy. I don't know how much it weighs, but I got a table that will hold 200 pounds. But it's just like a little, kind of like a printer table, but a little bit wider, so that those two items could sit on there. So that came in, and I need to put that together. And then I also ordered, in that same line as the table, a vertical shelving unit to put my project boxes in. And all of those two things are on wheels, so I can move them around in here if I need to. But I don't have much room in here, so I need to be able to move some things around if I have to. And I thought that might be the best way to handle that. So those two things are coming probably today. And then the lights I've already got. I wanted to talk to you about my upcoming projects. Now, I was going to do the Tilda wreath project after I get the Anne of Green Gables completely done, which is well in its way. And I am going to start that, but I've got something else in the works. I have one of you who wants to make this pattern, which was from last month's Sew Sampler box. And we were kind of thinking maybe we could make this together. And then I've been wanting to do Millie's dresses, which is also a Lori Holt. And she's using her Mercantile fabric line for both of these. So I don't have the Mercantile. I do have the jelly roll that they sent me for this. But I have this line, which is called Market Day. Market Day? Market Street. I wrote it down here. Market Street by Heather Peterson of Anka's Treasures for Riley Blake. So this also is kind of a retro-ish looking line that I want to do Millie's dresses in. I'll put a picture right here of Millie's dresses so you can see that. So there's the dresses, and then there's the hats. So I have plenty of fabric here in this line to make both of these quilts. They're not very big quilts. And I'm thinking about fusing them together. I don't mean fusing in the iron-on fusible sense. I mean, I'm going to take both patterns and combine them in rows in such a way that I'll have one bigger quilt instead of two smaller quilts. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to use this line instead of the Mercantile and do that, I think. It's kind of an experiment, but I think if I make up a hat and make up a dress block each, I'll be able to see how's that going to look and how will I want to do that. Look at these. Aren't these gorgeous? Look at that. That is so pretty. Let me show you some other ones here. I just think these will work up really good in these two patterns. They look like late 50s, early 60s. Mercantile looks like the normal, you know, Lori Holt 30s kind of looking stuff. Look at that one. But this is just a little bit later, and I look at this navy one even. Isn't that cute? Wouldn't that make up cute in one of those dresses? Well, the Quilt Along for Millie's Dresses, Fat Quarter Shop is doing, and they do 4 blocks a month. But since I'm doing it this way, combining it with this, I'm not going to follow their timeline exactly. But I'm excited about this, and I've ordered some background for it from, where did I get that from? Connecting Threads? I don't know. But speaking of Connecting Threads, if you did get on their mailing list, maybe you got this fabric dust. And you know, I always say these catalogs are so yummy. I could just look through them all day long. But if you didn't get it, I'll show you a couple things. This is something they're promoting right now. It's their own line. $9.96 a yard, a walk in the park. And it's all teals and golds, kind of like the dandelion gold color. It's pretty. And they have quilt kits and whatnot of that. And you can get bundles, fat quarters, 10-inch squares, 2.5-inch strips, and charms. And also wanted to point out their flannels. They have the most gorgeous flannels. Look at all the flannels they have. And I've heard they're good. Like, you know, they're soft and good quality. But I wanted to also point out the kits that they have in these flannels. Let me see if I can find it. Here they are. Look at those. Those pretty. Those are flannels. So, and the kits are not bad, guys. They're not bad. This one's $89.99 for a kit. And that is a 66 by 79. And then this blue off-centered one here is $88.99. And it is 56.5 by 76.5. And then this one, this dark one, I like this, is 50.5 by 60.5, and it's $57.99. So that's not bad. You have to download the patterns, and they cost a little bit, depending on which pattern. But I just think they're, I don't know. I like it. I like them a lot. Let's see, is there anything else in here I wanted to I wanted to tell you that they have Mercantile on sale. If you haven't bought it yet and you're thinking about it, they have it in here. And remember, I am an affiliate with them. $11.40 a yard. They have it. The fat quarters are $135.99. That's the layer cake is $37.49. The jelly roll is $37.49, and the charm pack is $9.99. So not bad prices. $11.40 a yard. So if you're thinking about doing, you know, if you got this and you already have the jelly roll for this. But if you wanted to do any of her other patterns like Millie's dresses, and you don't have the fabric yet, go to Connecting Threads, pick up my link in this video, and go over there and get what you need for the pattern you want to use. Or Millie's dresses, whichever. So, that's that. I'll keep you posted on how that's going to go. I'm excited about it. I am. But I'm also excited about the Tilda wreath quilt. So, let's see how many more projects I can juggle in the air. We'll get them done. All right, so the art quilt of the week is a very pretty, colorful one. I'll put the link right here, or the picture. This is called Ball Joints, 72 by 72, by Joan Pierner of Swamico, Wisconsin. Wisconsin, you have a lot of weird city names, I have trouble, but I think that's Swamico. Let me know if that's not right. Okay, ball joints. Susan Perney Mark showed the give and take applique technique at Joan's Quilt Club meeting. Okay, give and take applique technique. I do not know what that is, so I'm going to have to look that up. Joan was fascinated with the method and enjoyed choosing batik fabrics for her version. The hardest part for Joan was learning to use her long arm machine to do her own quilting. I feel your pain. The intricate pieces were bonded and then cut out using a scan and cut machine. The quilt was machine appliqued and pieced and was a viewer's choice winner at the Treasures of Tomorrow show in Marshfield, Wisconsin, and Evergreen Quilters Show in Green Bay, Wisconsin. So this is very interesting. The batiks really make it come alive, doesn't it? All those wonderful colors and tones in each of those blocks there. And then it kind of looks like, I don't know, what is it called? A mandala or a sun shape, but then it has those little round ends on each of the rays, every other one. Very pretty. Looking at her long arming on here, it looks like she did a lot of custom on this. So good for you, Joan, getting your long arm and putting it to good use on this beautiful quilt. I'm enjoying my long arm. And like I say, I don't know how many quilts I've done now. It's probably somewhere around 7 or 8, I guess. And I learn something every single time I turn the thing on and use it. I do. I learn something. So that means there's probably even more to learn. Oh yes, I know there's even more to learn. But thank goodness for Facebook groups and YouTube videos, or I would be dead in the water because those have helped me tremendously. And my own troubleshooting is getting a lot better. So I'm getting more confident on the long arm. Have a long way to go, but I will get there. All right, so that is what I have for you this week. I hope you enjoyed our little chat, and come back Wednesday for something. I'm not telling you what it is yet. Possibly because I don't know what it is yet. Are you shocked? Of course you're not shocked. I have an idea. I have a couple ideas. So I'll have to hash that out today to figure out what it is I want, which direction I want to go with Wednesday's video. And then we'll be back on Finish It Friday. I'll have that long-armed quilt bound and ready for photos to show you, and a little bit closer look at the quilt as you go, and then we'll see what you all have finished too. So be sure and tune in on Wednesday and Friday, 3 videos a week. I'm here talking about and doing the quilt stuff. So if you're into that, stick with me. Subscribe if you haven't. As a matter of fact, it's time to do housekeeping, isn't it? Check on your screen if you have the word subscribe anywhere. Please touch that word and hit all, the bell, the solid black bell, and you will never miss a video. It will always be there. All right, so have a great week. Stay busy, have fun with it, and we'll talk soon. Bye.